HUTCHING Last updated 1606, October 2, 2017. Antony Goughs office building at the Terrace, Oxford C. may be one of the last projects with large floor plates for a while. More large commercial buildings in central Christchurch are unlikely in the foreseeable future, according to real estate researchers. The research suggests some central city vacant eyesores will be around for a long time yet. JLL puts the central city vacancy rate at 14.8%. But in the suburbs of Addington, Riccarton, and Burnside the rate was about 30% as businesses flocked back to town. Property developer Richard Peeble says tenants looking for smaller spaces are still making inquiries. Developer Richard Peeble said the market was returning to pre-quake levels. Read more. Sir Bob Parker and Chinese investors back $70 million building in Christchurch Health Precinct. Malls expected to reel from new central Christchurch shopping centre. It's unlikely we'll see buildings with big floor plates come to market. But we've just received consent for the rebuild of the Duncan's building in High Street for smaller tenants. Central Christchurch still has some large vacant sites. We're getting inquiries for smaller spaces between 50 SQM and 200 SQM, and a lot of firms are still looking to come back to the central city. Peeble said rents had fallen, especially in western areas towards the airport, where rents had come back to about $195 a square meter compared with close to $300 previously. But we've never asked rents of around $400 plus in any of our developments. It's just back to the usual fundamentals of good outlook, good parking and rents, Peeble said. Plentiful office space means rents have fallen in the central city too, with Colliers International reporting average prime rentals down from $395 SQM to $375 SQM, while JLL puts the average at $355 SQM. The main CBD office projects have been leased to the 4 banks, accounting firms, and larger engineering and legal firms. A large planned central city office building, Nexus Point in Cathedral Square leased to Spark, was just getting underway. The other main central office building soon to be completed was the West Bickman building in Antony Goughs, the Terrace Hospitality Precinct, due to open by Christmas. About 11,318 SQM of office development was underway, with another 6,100 SQM still planned and 5,000 SQM on hold. Car parking was imperative, JLL Director of Sales and Leasing in Christchurch, Hamish Stallworthy, said. We clinched 3 large leasing deals this month because the landlords could provide at least 1 car park for every 35 SQM of floor space. These businesses have become used to having ample car parking in the suburbs, Stallworthy said. The flight to the center meant suburban market prime and secondary rents had fallen in Addington, Riccarton, and Burnside to an average $265 SQM. Suburban office vacancies were likely to continue rising. Risk of tenant flight from suburban offices was reflected in the yields recorded when they are sold, generally at a 1.5% discount on central city yields of 6.5% to 7.8%, he said. Retail rents were still higher than pre-quake levels, and a barrier to quirky lower-end retailers that helped create a dynamic atmosphere in the central business district, Tom Barclay, Associate Director of Research at JLL, said. During next 12 months there will be 3 big challenges: lack of residential population to drive trade at weekends, low tourist numbers until hotels and the convention center are completed, and competition from Westfield Riccarton, Barclay said. Colliers Director of Commercial Leasing, Bryn Burrows, said there were unlikely to be any major office development projects for another 5 years at least, unless a large tenant opted for a design build. Christchurch contrasted starkly with Wellington, where there was little available prime space, and top rents were about $481 SQM. Stuff.